These are the things that I wish I knew when I first started studying music. Doesn't matter if it's your first week of GCSE, college, university, or you're thinking about taking a course online. These next 8 tips will skyrocket your capacity for learning, better organize your time, and decrease your levels of stress and anxiety. I was drastically unprepared for my course when I became a music student, and after around a decade as a music lecturer at the same college and university that I studied at, I learned so much in hindsight and from my best and worst students. I'm going to give you 8 tips that I wish I knew if I was to go back and do it all over again. I'm giving you this one first because any student that worked this out seemed to always be a high flyer. You're welcome. First up, use Google to find the syllabus. I can't believe how many of my students didn't do this before studying with me. For students, it's an absolute cheat sheet for getting top marks and finding out what the lecturers expect of you, as well as understanding better how one unit correlates to the next subject. All you need to do is Google the name of your qualification. So it might be A-level, BTEC, UAL, followed by the name of your course. So it might be a level 3 in music performance, and then the year that you're doing this. You can scroll down to what are going to be the mandatory and optional units that you might study over the 1, 2, or 3 years of the course. As you scroll further down, you can find the titles of said units and then each of the tasks that you're going to be studying, and you'll get a breakdown of the pass marks. This might be broken down numerically, or it might say pass merit distinction. Regardless, it will explain what the mark scheme is for the student to get top marks, and it might even give examples of what satisfactory next to outstanding work looks like. So it's definitely worth checking out. The second thing you'll want to work out is what you're going to need to buy: headphones, hard drives, laptops, software. The list goes on. I've linked my music study starter kit at the kit.co link in the description. This is going to cover everything that I think will be best for your buck over the first few years of you studying music. On certain courses, there's a recommended reading list. There was when I studied music at Trinity, and university books can get really unnecessarily expensive. And unless there's a specific question that relates to that year's edition, you'll be just fine grabbing a second-hand book, which will be cheaper, or finding a free alternative. If you search websites like LibGen, that's LIBGEN, there's often books that are uploaded as PDF versions that you can download absolutely free. Don't spend unnecessarily on books you're only going to read once. Speaking of books, and on topic number 3, do not underestimate the wonderful asset which is the library. A lot of people don't know this, but here in the UK, a library card is free, and they offer other services than just being able to loan a book. If you're in a major city, oftentimes you can hire equipment for free. So that's headphones, sometimes it's video recorders, DVD players. You can get all sorts from your local library. So don't pass up the free opportunity to grab a library card and check out what they have available. And the final thing in this little category that I think has been the most beneficial as a student, as a lecturer, and as a professional is finding the right cloud-based file sharing platform. And today this video is sponsored by DistroKid. I didn't know this, but if you're a DistroKid member, you get file sharing at no extra cost. And alongside your studies or thereafter, you're probably going to want to start selling beats. So this is a great thing to get ahead of. Just come to the top right-hand corner of the DistroKid website, scroll down to Instant Share, and you're ready to go. If you want to get 7% off your first year, just use the link in the description below. Now, if you've landed on this video, you're probably already enrolled on a course, which means you've got a student email address, which gives you access to discounted products all over the internet, and it includes food at most restaurants. So always keep that in the back of your mind as well. Once you've got yourself settled, do go out into the world and find some work experience at local radio stations, production houses, music studios, or venues. This was a topic that my peers and later on music students would critically undervalue. That knowledge that you find on the course, you can apply in real time, and that education will just sink a little bit deeper, and you'll have a little bit more on your CV and some contacts that you can kind of reapply to after your time spent on the course. Real world work experience might not be for you, so set up a side hustle. Websites like BeatStars and Epidemic Sound might be the kick up the backside you need to finish some of those unfinished beats that are taking up space on your hard drive. If you upload them to these hosting websites, you might find collaborators and even make a couple of bucks alongside your course. If beatmaking isn't your thing right now, you might want to consider web design or social media marketing. This is something that I did in the early days of quitting my job. There are so many older businesses that don't know how to set up Facebook ads or create shorts or reels for Instagram and TikTok, and you can be that person and get paid for your efforts. Number 5 is something I wish I'd done sooner, and that's setting up a great calendar/note-taking app. Something like Monday or Notion are terrific, but they can be fairly costly over time. So I created my own in Google Docs, and it's available to download at the Patreon. If you're looking to become more productive in your social, working, or study life, I strongly suggest that this is the planner for you. I genuinely use it on a day-to-day basis. If you've watched the Twitch streams, you've probably seen it already. Number 6 is short and sweet. Set up a good strategy for learning. Now that you're enrolled on a course, you might start to take your foot off the gas, you might start partying, and before long, you're doing late night cramming sessions. Use a strategy like the Pomodoro method. This is the act of studying for 25 minutes, then taking a 5-minute break to do something else, whatever you like, and then another 25 minutes of study, so on and so forth. After 4 hours, I normally have one long half-an-hour break, but you take on way more knowledge than you would in a 6-hour cramming session. Number 7, I have stolen from Ali Abdaal. Learn some skills from the Universal Toolbox. I wish I'd known this sooner. The Universal Toolbox are skills that everybody should learn no matter what field they go into. Things like negotiating and public speaking. Get used to having your voice heard in large groups. This is a skill that is next to none on the scale of things that you must do as a musician going into this oversaturated space. Other things that are invaluable is learning how to network, skills like video editing and coding, especially as technology just keeps moving faster and faster with AI. Finally, we're at the last point of the video, and thanks so much for tuning in. If it was helpful, do give me a like so I know you want to see more videos like this in the future, and comment below if you as a student again, what would you do differently? What skills would you want to learn? Now, I just mentioned the topic of networking, and as you do that over the next year, 2 or 3, you're going to meet so many people. Try to make a conscious effort to take down as many emails as you can. That's peers, teachers, public speakers, and if you're shadowing any professionals in the industry, definitely take down their emails as well. You never know where these individuals are going to end up, and if they'll be working for a company that is hosting a position that you could fulfill, and just having that little foot in the door could be a huge advancement to your career. I started my session career when I was still a student at college, and that was because Richard Brown, who was the musical director for the Lord of the Rings productions, was a guest speaker one day. I hounded this guy on email for months, and it was only when his drummer fell sick that I was able to fulfill the position as a session drummer, and I ended up staying with that orchestra for 6 months. This job led me to so many different connections and future collaborators, all because I took down one email. So there we have it, guys. They're my top 8 tips. If I was to go back and study music again, they're the things that I would do differently. But as I said, let me know in the comments what you would do differently and what you want to see in future episodes. Thank you so much as always for swinging by, and I'll see you next time.